Do you feel down, like you missed an opportunity, like things will never ever be the same again? Maybe you're saying, Louis, you have no idea. I messed up. I get you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you, get back up. Get back up on the horse. The Cowboys, there's a reason the Cowboys tell each other. You fall off the horse to get back on the horse. And maybe you don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. When we're down and out and we feel bad and sad and angry with ourselves even, we don't want to hear get back on the horse. I had an experience when I was younger. I was a teenager. I was 17 in South Africa. And I didn't have a driver's license. I was driving with the car and I made a U-turn in front of a truck. Man, I was terrified. That truck hit me on my door. And as I looked to my friend who was with me in the car, he was just spitting out glass. It was scary because that truck hit us and pushed us onto a pavement. And I remember I was terrified, man. I had so much adrenaline running through me. And completely shocked by this experience. But my friend was just quiet. He just looked at me with his big eyes like, did this just happen? So I phoned my dad and told him I was in a car accident, and he came over. And when he came over, he wasn't yelling at me, "What are you doing? And can't you look where you're driving?" He was concerned. Are you guys okay? Does anybody need to go to a hospital? You're fine. Okay, the car is bad, but not too bad. And he went and he spoke to the police and the owner of the truck. And then when they were done, he came to me and he handed me these car keys and he said, "Here, follow me home." Man, that was the last thing I wanted to do at that time. But my dad forced me to get back on the horse. He's like, "Follow me home." So I took the key and he jumped in that broken car. That car was just mashed up by a truck, and he was driving it back home. And the brave one was really my friend. Shout out to Marius, who got back in the car with me as we followed my dad home. And what I remember from that experience now is we were laughing at people's reactions, seeing my dad, as he was driving the other car. The other people would be like, "What is that? What is that? What?" We could see their faces. It was hilarious. And that's the memory that I have from it now, because I got back on the horse. I could have easily remembered that was the moment that I stopped driving and I would never drive again. You see, you might have messed up real bad. And you might be down in the trenches and feel down and out right now. And things might not ever be the same again, But if you don't get up, you will never know. You will never know what you could have become. You will never know the fullness of God's plan for your life and what good could come from this. King David is a prime example. He messed up so much worse than you and me did. He didn't just crash a car. Let me tell you, King David, he was supposed to go to war and then decided to go his own way. And his own way was staying at home, walking around on the roof of his castle, And what happened is he saw a woman and he made her pregnant. But that was not the bad part, He then tried to cover up the fact that he made her pregnant because she was his friend's wife. So he got his friend to come back from war because he was such a good soldier. Stay with your wife a little. But his friend wouldn't. He was standing in solidarity with the other men who were at the battlefield fighting, So when he went back, David sent word. He was like, "Man, this didn't work. They're going to know she's pregnant and they're going to know it's not his child." So he got his friend moved to the very front of the army, which kind of was a death certificate. He died. So David killed one of his friends to cover up the fact that he slept with his wife and made her pregnant. That's messing up. That's worse than what you and me have done. And even if we did that, you know what? Still need to get up. Because she had that baby, and that baby was born sick, and he died. You know what David did? He got back up. He got back up. Let me explain to you this. David chose his own way. Isaiah 53 verse 6 says this. He says, well, let me start at verse 5. It says, but he was wounded for our transgressions. Talking about Jesus. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we were healed. You know what? The mess ups we made, he paid the price for them. He was wounded for my mess ups. He was bruised for my mistakes. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. And then listen to this. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. We love doing things our own way. Just like David. We go about doing things our own way. We were supposed to go to war, but we decide to stay at home, send the army out to go fight on our behalf. And what happens when we do things our way? We mess up. You know what? God helped David. Through all that, David turned because he knew he was sheep. And he turned to a shepherd. And he's like, man, Lord, will you help me? If you can read that story, David repented. He went back to God. After doing things his own way, and he messed up so badly, he went back to God. He's like, please help me out of this. Not help me get away with it. Because he didn't get away with it. Help me through this. Because that's where the redemption lies. And it's when we go through. So God helped David get through it. And when this child died, David got up. He got back up. You know why he married that woman? And the next son they bore, the next son they had together was the future king of Israel. His name was Solomon, and he was the wisest man that ever lived. And he was included in Jesus' bloodline. You see, David didn't get back up. We would have never known. We would have never met Solomon. We would have never known the wisest man. We would have never known Proverbs. And Jesus' bloodline, we would never know that Jesus came through that bloodline. Right? So, what is there that the Lord is calling you to and me to? We need to get back up, because if we don't get back up, we'll never know. See, I wrote a song when I was in a trench. I felt like, man, everything around me was falling to pieces and things would never be the same again. And the song was called "The Lord's My Shepherd." And you know what the Lord did? He picked me up. Like that. You see that video on social media of the sheep stuck in the trench and somebody pulls him out. Then he runs and then dives back into the trench. Yeah, that is you and me. I messed up, but the Lord pulled me out. And He's got a better plan for all of us. And He's restoring me. He restored me, man. He gave me hope again. He gave me a future again. He gave me a wonderful wife and favor that I didn't deserve. But that's who He is, isn't it? I want to tell you, if the Lord can do it for me, He can do it for you. And it's time for you to get back up. While you listen to this song, I want to encourage you to maybe Pray and ask the shepherd to help you. Ask the shepherd if he will teach you his ways. For all of us, like sheep, have gone astray. Each one have turned to our own way. But God has laid our iniquity and our mistakes on him. He's the good shepherd. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me lie in pastures green, by still waters he leadeth me. He restores my soul, restores me and makes me whole, as he leads me down the path of righteousness. For his name's sake, my soul finds rest. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow, you are with me, this I know. Your rod and staff so comforting. Your rod and staff makes a way for me. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me lie in pastures green, by still waters he leadeth me. He prepares a table for me in the presence of my enemy. A table for me in the presence of my enemy. Anoints my head with oil for all to see. My cup is overflowing. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me. Goodness and mercy will follow me all my days eternally. As I dwell in your house, your face I'll see. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me lie in pastures green, by still waters he leadeth me. The Lord's my shepherd. It's time to get back up. Trust your shepherd that he's got a good way for you. Let him sit you at a table and prepare a table forward. Anoint your head again with water. Let him show you the good things he can bring from this mess that we created. The Lord's your shepherd. Lord's my shepherd.